Hi, and welcome to day 2 of General Convention. I'm Esteban Giron, and you're watching IntegriTV. 8 LGBT members of the House of Deputies met with the Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams. After the meeting, IntegriTV caught up with 3 participants to get their impressions of the meeting.
Well, the meeting was about a half-an-hour conversation, and it was very prayerful, and it felt very holy and very lovely in the sense that being able to kind of share your story with someone and have them listen deeply is beautiful.
After we talked, after I shared my story, I definitely could feel that the Archbishop had heard what I had to say, particularly reflected back something that made it clear that he pulled something out of my story that is important to him. So it was felt very good to know that he really listened to what I had to say.
Well, each of us made the decision together that each of us was going to share a minute and a half of some part of our own story. This is perhaps one of the greatest theologians that we have walking amongst us, and so to do anything other than our personal stories we thought wouldn't be a good use of our time. So I spoke about my attending seminary when I was 24 years old and then leaving after not feeling welcome and taking 12 years to come back and now being a priest, and that I'm one of the lucky ones that came back to the church and is blessed by the church. But I don't think we can waste any more time to lose any more.
My hope is that he puts us to work. I mean, I hope that after this meeting that the Archbishop calls on us, calls on all of us, calls on our whole community to do whatever work we can do to change hearts and minds in the rest of the communion. We left with a message of here we are, send us. And so I don't know what that's going to turn out to be, if anything. We can do a lot with where we are now and the resources that we have now. But imagine what it might be like if the Archbishop, were to send us, and what the power that might come from that. So I just hope that something happens.
To the degree that we can represent the American church and the LGBT community in the American church, that we are part of the church, that we're already part of the church, that the church is blessing us and that our ministries are blessing the church, and that there's nothing to be scared of, that we're really generic and boring, and that we want what everybody wants, that we want unity in Christ to serve the world. And I think I hope and I think that that's the message that he'll take home.
Today, our Heard on the Street segment looks at one of the more unique community building tools here at Convention, Ubuntu.
Ubuntu? Oh yes, I and you and me.
Well, Ubuntu has to do with the relationship we have with one another and how we foster that relationship.
You can find it right inside of us.
A what?
Ubuntu.
Ubuntu? No, sorry.
Ubuntu is really related to integrity. It's about the fact that in Christ we are incomplete without each other. We need each other. And of course, that's part of integrity's theme, that every member of this church has value, and that value is infinite in Christ, and that we need each other.
My humanity is tied to your humanity. My cry for justice is tied to your cry for justice. God is like a circle dance. God in the Trinity is this continually moving presence. And what Ubuntu means for us as we're dancing together is, if I let go of you in the dance, I might just fall over. I may not have the best rhythm in the world. I may not be able to sing and dance at the same time, which is what we do every Sunday. But if I can depend on you to be there for me, then I can have success in my experience of worship, and you can have success in your experience of worship.
Looking back at our history, the granddaddy of integrity, Dr. Louie Crew, tells us his recollections of the first national gathering of integrity.
The Episcopalian wouldn't take the ad, but the Living Church took the ad, and the Advocate took the ad. And so I suggested in the first issue that we might have chapters, and to contact me if you wanted to be in a chapter. And the first 2 people to call, one was named Wycliffe, and one was named Tyndale. And Tyndale was a priest, and Wycliffe was a layman, and they both lived in Chicago and did not know each other. And they met with, and Grant Gallup was at that meeting, and I think there were 9 at that meeting. They formed the first chapter in December of 1974. I didn't go to that meeting, but they had so many connections in the diocese that they hosted the first National Integrity Convention in the summer of '75 at the Cathedral Church of St. James. It was just such a magical kind of moment. There was just this real awareness that God had something really wonderful in mind.
Integrity advocate Katie Sherrod from the Diocese of Fort Worth, Texas, has waited a long time for this General Convention.
You know, none of us would have thought this could ever happen, but we're here, and it's just amazing. And if it can happen in Fort Worth, it can happen anywhere in the church. The fact that our provisional bishop had dinner with the board at Integrity Fort Worth, they went out to dinner with the bishop, he had his picture taken with them, spent the evening with them. I mean, that's an amazing thing. You know, just walking into that room,
You people have it. It's wonderful, wonderful.
was, because there's so many people that left, that couldn't wait, people who died, people whose children have refused to go to church because it's been so abusive, people now who can't be buried in their own parishes because their parishes are occupied by people who aren't Episcopalians anymore. It's been hard, but it's been good too. And we've been through times that have been so bleak. I used to go home from General Convention and cry for days. It was like being at a feast, knowing that we would go back for 3 years and starve until the next time we could come be fed at the table. And now we're here, we're at the table. And you know, if it can happen for us in Fort Worth, it can happen for the LGBT people in our church.
IntegriTV will be back again tomorrow with our coverage of the 76th General Convention. Friend us on Facebook, send us a tweet, or check out our Integrity blog. We would love for you to join in on the conversation. So, on behalf of all our volunteers and staff here in Anaheim, thank you for watching IntegriTV, and join us tomorrow for another edition of our show.